Hi, this is Wendy from Adoratio Farms. So what do you do when you have expecting pigs and Premier One fencing is out of stock everywhere? Amazon, out of stock. Premier One, out of stock. And even if you go to like local farm co-ops that do have them normally and they're out of stock, what do you do? So we have to adapt as homesteaders. So this is what we've done. So here's an example of one of our very big, very hefty, pregnant American guinea hogs. She is trying to escape the heat. It is very hot here. And she's made a wallow with our help a little bit. But anyhow, you can see in the background, we do usually use hog fencing from Premier One, so I'll zoom in. It's about 2 feet tall or so. What you can't really see is that the netting itself is pretty large. The piglets can fit right through. So we had to do a makeshift, again, we can't find what we need. So I went ahead and got this construction safety netting, which you can see here, and we just went ahead and zip tied it with these extra white posts here. Periodically, we zip tied down. Kind of helps with two things. One, we have a very scared pig over here. She's one of ours that's also pregnant. She's not as far along, but she likes to jump. She's our only jumper, but she really likes to jump. What you can see here is we put the poultry netting. This is not Premier One. This is from Rural King, and it is poultry netting with the tiny piglet size holes here too. But she can't escape it by jumping because it's too tall, and her piglets can't get through. It's temporary housing right now because as soon as our pigs farrow, then we're going to get them right back out to rotating again. So we kind of have to keep them close to home where we can check on their babies and make sure no predators can get to them. So they're not on our back fields like normal. So here they're right up next to the goats. So you can see on the goat side, we ran out of the orange fencing. So we used poultry netting, the green plastic poultry netting up against the goats. Does the same thing. You can see two in the back are of our ladies that are just hanging out. But let me walk over to our baby pigs so you can see one litter. All right, so we're gonna walk back toward another section. This pair here, this is a breeding pair, and they are getting ready to be moved out on pasture again. You can see the difference between where they've been and where they will go. Okay, so our land is not flat pasture. It is definitely silvopasture, definitely forested. You can see anybody can have pigs. Our land here is very, very forested, and it goes all the way back. And so this is where they were about 10 or so rotations ago, and they're gonna go right back here after they help us with all of that. Okay, so let's go back to our new piglets. This is Penelope. Hey Penelope, and she again here is normally rotated, but she just had piglets a few weeks ago, so we need to keep her close to home as well. And they have done a great job. They are trained to fence, as you can see. So fence does work, and this is shocking because it's sharing another net on the other side. This is shocking at about 4. The other pigs we have, one at 7, and one that's sharing the goats is a little higher. It's at 6. Even though they're sharing the goat line, we're still getting good 6. Okay, and you see some more babies. Say hi. And Mama's just making sure that I'm not gonna come in. Or maybe she wants food. It's almost dinner time. Okay, and this lady here, she's also pretty big. She's a couple weeks, maybe 3 weeks behind the others. So she is also separated right now and normally on pasture, but she will be rotated as soon as those babies are weaned. Say hi, Pixie. Hi, Pixie. So this is a great time to take a look at these little piglets in their first 30 days of life. One more shot of this poultry net. So this is normally used for poultry, but when our pigs farrow and we can't get a hold of the piglet netting from Premier One, we adapt. So we are now resorting to using the poultry netting. So this is our plan B. Plan A is Premier One hog piglet netting. Plan B is our poultry netting. And you've seen our plan C, which is our regular hog netting with the safety plastic safety netting that's attached by zip tie. All right, who can resist more baby footage? Aren't they cute? Say hi. Mama's teaching them lessons already. Good job, Mama. Say hi, Bailey. Hi. Are you watching? You making sure all the piglets are behaving? What do you hear? What do you hear? So these are our animals that have not been photographed yet. These are our baby turkeys, and it looks like they're in for some clean. Ooh, we have an escape artist. That's why we have the netting on top. Same netting that we used outside. It's that poultry netting here. Anyway, so these little turkeys are 3.5 weeks old. They're white broad-breasted turkeys. And what Carly's doing here is she is cleaning out their water. Sometimes they get a little busy and they put their wood shavings in their water and their food too. So she's gonna kind of get all the wood shavings out of their little feeder. She's gonna restock their feed, and then she's going to add some NutriBalancer on there. Fertrell NutriBalancer is amazing. I cannot tell you how happy we are to follow Joel Salatin's instructions back at the homesteading convention when he talked about how important the Fertrell NutriBalancer was. And so we use that on our Cornish cross, we use that on our layers, and now we're continuing to use that on our turkeys. And when we brought our turkey home, actually the first night, one had pasty butt really bad. And so what we did was we treated with the magic water, which is apple cider vinegar, some garlic and honey in their water, and then we topped off their feed with NutriBalancer, and it's amazing. It just worked. By day 2 or 3 that we had them home, no more pasty butt, and they're all active and healthy and happy and getting their feathers. So when we process our broilers on that day, we're gonna go ahead and switch these guys out to pasture. The tractor that we were using for our broilers are gonna now be with these 4 little turkey guys. So Carly's just adding bedding, which is pine shavings, and we use the deep litter method, which just basically means we just add a little bit more on top. And we'll of course refresh this entire brooder when we get our new batch of birds.
So these little guys are actually my idea. We went to Rural King, which is like Tractor Supply, and we were going for some chicken feed and some pig waterers for ideas and such. And I saw these little 4 turkeys in a brooder, and I convinced my mom to get them, so she's making me take care of them. So I'll be raising these guys until I go back to school, and by the time I go back to school it'll be 5 weeks, and they can go outside when they're 5 weeks old, and we'll have to build an enclosure for them outside, a little turkey sanctuary. But until then, they'll stay in the brooder.
Thanks for viewing us here at Adoratio Farms.
Stay watching, our next video will come out shortly.